have a happy Thanksgiving. Let's beat Utah. We'll see you next week for more AFR here on BYU TV. And Blaine and I will see you tomorrow night from the Marriott Center for BYU and Rice.
Coming up, it is rivalry week as BYU versus Utah is once again a regular season finale. It's our regular season finale, too, as we visit with Coach Sitake, Austin Lee, and Elisa Tuiaki right here in Studio C as BYU Football with Kalani Sitake starts now.
All right, lets it go. Finds this guy. Touchdown.
Hill for a first down and more. Hurdles his way. Touchdown.
Quarterback tied, definitely. Waiting. Here's the pass. Touchdown!
Toss to Luke. Luke on the sideline to the 20. To the 15. Gonna go! Touchdown, BYU!
As Atkins fires, popped up in the air, picked off from Malik Moore on the INT. And Lopini right up the middle and right into the end zone. Lopini Katoa. Hadley stays in bounds and cuts it back in. He's gonna go! Touchdown, Matt Hadley!
This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, presented by Intermountain Healthcare. And now, your host, the voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell.
All right, welcome into the BYU Broadcasting building here in Provo, Utah for our final Sitake show of the season. We are live on BYU TV and BYU Radio with a great crowd here in Studio C. You can join the conversation by submitting questions for Kalani and tonight's two guests by using hashtag Sitake Show on Twitter, as well as on the BYU TV Sports Facebook and Instagram accounts. Let's get our season finale underway by welcoming in a guy who has seen the BYU-Utah rivalry from both sides as a player and a coach. He is the head coach of the Cougars. He is Kalani Sitake.
What's up, guys? All right.
First
Welcome.
up, good group, right?
Yeah, thanks for being here. Must be a boring night, nothing else to do, I guess. Come hang out with me and talk football. No, it's rivalry week, so let's get ready to roll.
Let's get ready to roll indeed.
Yeah.
We know it's a big week, and I guess it's kind of a cliche question right now. Does it feel any different around the office, in the locker room, field, meetings? Can you tell it's Utah week?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell different. You can feel it, and I think that, I mean, it's this is the one that fans are always talking about all year long. So now that it's here, our guys are excited for it. And he says the last game of the year we have a bowl game, but we'll have plenty of time to rest. So let's empty the tank and give it everything we got.
Okay, we know it's a big week, but let's talk a little bit about last week as we do at the start of every show. It was senior night. You had your last home game of the year as BYU took on New Mexico State a few nights ago, and this was a game that got you bowl eligible.
Yeah, I was really happy for the seniors. I remember my senior game. We talked about this last week, and I just think that, just having the seniors go out the right way in LaVell Edwards Stadium with a win, they'll always remember that. But I'm just really pleased with how our guys performed and ran into a little bit of adversity early again, but I thought we felt really good about the game and felt like we still have some room to improve, and what a great time to play a great game with this week and keep improving. I think our guys have gotten better every week, and it's a good time to put it all together.
Let's take a look at how things went down Saturday night at LaVell Edwards Stadium. It was senior night, Cougars and Aggies. And, you talk about the adversity. And New Mexico State on drive number 2 with touchdown number 1. An excellent catch by the guy with 2 first names, Drew Dan. Made it 7-0 New Mexico State. And then with the offense kind of just trying to get going, they get a short field courtesy of the defense, Malik Moore.
Yeah, I thought New Mexico State did a good job preparing for this game. They had an extra week with the bye week for them. And we had some things that we thought they would do, and there's some new things that they did that we weren't expecting on defense. But slow start, but our guys rallied back, and I was pleased with how our defense performed, getting a turnover.
First touchdown of the game for BYU, courtesy of Matt Hadley, who's done really well since coming over from linebacker, and it was tied 7-7 after one quarter. And in quarter number 2, INT number 2 of the night, Isaiah Kaufusi. Is that a strong season for you?
Yeah, and he's been one of our better guys as far as improving every week. And he says if he didn't slip, he would have scored, but I don't know. We'll see. He's got playing out of Brighton High School. He was a running back, and just got to learn to cut off the outside foot.
Matt Hadley with a touchdown run, making some guys miss. he shows why he was such a good high school running back before turning to defense here in college.
Yeah, great instincts. He's patient with the ball and then ran really well all night. Same with this guy. Lopini did a great job. Scored a lot of touchdowns, but we always forget about the big guys up front. They did a great job blocking and opening the hole, so I'm pleased with the O-line.
And Lopini Katoa would have a big night. We'll get to more of his touchdowns as we see it. BYU up 28-7. Right before halftime, the Bushman catch setting up a field goal from Skylar Salton. You called timeouts, got the ball back to score, and you did score. So 31-7 at halftime. Yeah,
I was really happy, especially with the start and being down 7-0. But I mean, defense stepped up and played well. Offense started things to click, and I felt really, really pleased with how our guys were starting to play.
A game played without Corbin Kaufusi. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then Lopini Katoa with touchdown number 2, or maybe 3 on the night for him at that one. BYU goes up 38-7. It's now 38-10. And Morton Lopini, big run down the sideline as BYU pours it on. Didn't quite get to the end zone here, but he would take care of that as BYU is cruising at this point. And Lopini Katoa with his 4th touchdown of the night. A 4-touchdown day for Lopini. The most in a single game since Jamal had 5 at running back against Toledo a few years ago.
Yeah, he did a great job. And like I said, the O-line did a great job blocking for him. I thought the receivers and tight ends downfield blocked really well. That's what we were able to spring a lot of big plays and big runs. Algier had one as well. And that's all because of how hard the other 11 guys are working on the field.
45-10 is your final score. BYU over New Mexico State. Game stats are presented by Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway. And BYU with 317 rushing yards now improves to 26-0 since 1972. When they run for 300-plus yards, that's a pretty good number to get to. We talked about it a little bit during the highlights. Kalani, you did go into the game missing a couple key guys. They were all seniors, too, sadly. Corbin Kaufusi and Riggs Powell on defense and Squally Canada on offense. And you told us before the game that Corbin's career is unfortunately done here at BYU. Yeah,
and I mean, he's been playing with a lot of pain, and I think in order for us we wanted to be smart about it. He's got a career in the next level, and I think if you ask him, he would be willing to play. But you know, talking to our medical staff, I think that's something that we consistently talking to our guys and reminding them of their future and how this could affect the rest of their life. And so, as we looked at it and we've got more opinions, I think that was the best decision for us to go with that.
You don't just replace Corbin. You try and get a bunch of guys to step up and do their best without him. How did the guys do without him this past weekend, and what can they do to even pick up their game for the games to come?
Well, it helps to have another Kaufusi replace him. You know, he's not as tall, but he's a young freshman. Devin did a good job, and the other end stepped up and played well in his absence. And I was really happy with how they worked together. You know, I think our pressure got to the quarterback quite a bit. We didn't have as many sacks as we'd like, but we disrupted the timing. And if you look at the completion percentage, we kept him at a low that he's not used to. And I was really, like I said, I'm happy with how our guys played. And you know, we have guys that are getting opportunities to play a lot more. You saw Isaiah be the benefactor of that with injuries that happened to Butch, and those guys have just kept the momentum going. You know, and Rhett Sandlin played as well, and Adam Pulsifer filled in, so in Riggs' absence. And so we know that Riggs Powell is still day-to-day, and Squally we're still waiting to see. But just happy that we have other guys that have stepped up, and the coaches have done a great job preparing them to take over in the absence of the guys that were unfortunately injured.
When it comes to Squally, Matt Hadley, Lopini Katoa, Riley Burt, who we didn't see a lot, had a great night as well. And so those 3 guys, I think, can carry the load for you down to the end here, right?
Yeah, definitely. And A.J. Stewart's done a good job getting them ready, and Coach Grimes has a scheme, and that they worked well with their skills. And so I like the running back group, and it's just unfortunate that Squally's been banged up. We've had guys get banged up a lot throughout the season, and we'd have to miss some time. But I think as a group, they've done a great job picking up the pieces and keeping keeping the momentum going. So regardless, I have a lot of confidence in Riley and you know, and Tyler Algier filling in Squally's absence, and Matt Hadley it's proven to be a good move to get him back to the running back position.
Utah's rush defense is so good, but it won't be on the shoulders of one running back to get it done for you guys this weekend, which is positive, I think.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's a great challenge. So it'd be a good challenge for our guys. O-line, our tight ends and receivers need to block well, and our running backs need to find the hole. And I feel like it's a good chance for us, and I think our guys are ready for it.
Okay. For your Cougar day-to-day sports play-by-play, watch BYU Sports Nation with Spencer Linton and Jerem Jordan weekdays at noon Eastern on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Tomorrow, Max Hall and some other guy on the show. All right, when we come back, a look ahead to BYU and Utah. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been seriously injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies and protect your legal rights.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
I volunteer at Primary Children's Hospital because I care about helping families with sick kids.
I volunteer at the 512 Foundation because I care about our kids and community.
And I volunteer because I care about Utah's future engineers.
Do you know someone who cares about making our community better? I Am Flash will recognize your unsung hero and donate $1,000 to their favorite local charity. IamFlash.com/hero.
I care about making the world a happier place.
Rise, champion! My enemies are everywhere.
The Dark Realm.
The what?
It's where dark forces dwell and should not be disturbed.
Okay.
So when I woke you up?
You woke up everyone.
Balls of fire!
Prepare for balls of fire, Highness.
No, it's an expression.
I didn't come here to fight.
You came to die, then.
No.
What's buried here must stay buried.
What?
It's not gonna get much worse than that. Right?
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is brought to you by Intermountain Healthcare, healing for life, and by Nissan, innovation that excites.
We are back for more BYU Football with Kalani Sitake on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Your game day broadcast schedule looks like this. Pregame on BYU Radio starts right after the BYU Houston men's basketball postgame coverage wraps up. Then BYU TV's countdown to kickoff begins at 9 Eastern. Game is on BYU Radio, of course, and FS1. And then postgame is both back on BYU Radio and BYU TV. It is BYU and Utah, and both teams coming into this week's game with winning records. BYU 6-5, Utah 8-3. And the Utes, Kalani, already wrapped up Pac-12 play after this past weekend.
Yeah, that's the first time winning the Pac-12 South, and so they have the opportunity to play for the Rose Bowl next week, but they'll have to get through us first.
They had to win the Colorado game and hope for other results to go their way, and that they did. And so Utah does have another game to play after BYU, followed by a bowl game somewhere they're going to head, but they've got to focus fully on BYU first. And as good as BYU's defense has been this year, and BYU's defense has been excellent, Utah, we see some of the tidbits about the Utes and how they've really bounced back since that 2-2 start to the season. They've got an excellent defense, and that's no surprise, Kalani. You've been part of that program when defense was their calling card. The #1 red zone defense in the country right now, among other superlatives, and that's what Utah's known for, is being tough up front and good defense overall.
Yeah, and Kyle's been there a long time. You know, he played defense here at BYU before he got in the coaching profession, but he's been there and he established that defense way before he even was a head coach. He was there as a defensive coordinator with Ron McBride, and then became the defense coordinator when Urban Meyer took over, and then he eventually became the head coach. And I have a lot of appreciation for that place. I spent 10 years there as a coach, and they were great to me. But you know, I'm at BYU now, and I'm at my alma mater, and so I know how important this game is on both sides, and really looking forward to getting to an opportunity to go up there and compete against them and against a very stout defense. And we think we have a lot of talent on our team too, so it'll be a good matchup. We're looking forward to the challenge.
They lost their starting quarterback, Tyler Huntley, and their running back, Zach Moss, really quickly within days of each other. But the backups have kind of picked up where the starters left off and have played well.
Yeah, and I think the main key is that they've really put a lot on their O-line, that physical line, and the defense has done a great job at helping them get shorter fields. They have great special teams that their punter can really flip the field for them, and so I think they have done a complete game of wins. You know, and offense going on Shelley's his strengths. He could run the ball, and he knows how to manage the game and manage that type of offense that they're running right now, which is a heavy RPO based type of offense, and they've used Shine really well in the run game. And Shine's a guy that's played a lot of snaps and has a lot of experience. So he was a starter there at one time before Moss was the starter. So it's not, you know, it's not like they there's a huge drop off from starter to the second string, and they've proven they have some great depth. That's a huge compliment to Coach Witt and the staff, what they've done there. And we feel like we've been able to dip into our depth as well. But we're looking forward to it. Our defense is excited and be a good challenge. They've had some great games with the backups playing at quarterback and running back, and we feel like we've done a great job at scheming. And we'll talk to the guy tonight, the defense coordinator, Elisa Tuyaki, and I think he looks forward to this opportunity as well.
Talked about flipping the field, and the Utah kickers are always exceptional. They have been for years now, from Hackett and Phillips to now Wisnowski and Gay. They can score from deep, and their punters are tremendous.
Yeah, and Britt Covey's the returner, so he does kick returns and punt returns. So, you know, they work on all three phases, and they're deep there. And we can sing their praises. They've done a great job, and that's why they're ranked, and that's why they won their division in the Pac-12. You know, so but we're excited about this game. You know, and I know they want to win this game, but man, we really want it. You know, so. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of respect for the program and their fans, especially I have a different perspective, you know, and like I said, I've said this in the past, they were really good to me and my family, and I feel like I wouldn't be prepared as a coach if I didn't have that opportunity to learn from Coach Witt and Gary Anderson and others, and had that relationship, you know, up at Utah. And I think it's really helped me as a head coach, even now here at BYU. And there's a lot of connections. You know, we have a lot of former players on that staff up there, and you know, we have guys that have coached at Utah, myself, A-Rod, and Tuyaki, that have spent time at Utah too. So, but when it comes down to it, it's not even about the coaches, it's about the players and the fans, and it's going to be hostile, and they're going to be excited to have this game going on. And luckily, we've been through this type of games before, so we'll see if we can bring our experience of going to Wisconsin and getting a win there, and going to Arizona and getting a win there, and see if that plays into this game. We hope it does, and we're going to prepare as much as we can possibly with it, knowing that there's plenty of time for us to rest. And so I keep saying empty the tank, because there's really nothing else to save it for. The bowl game's going to have plenty of time to recover. Tell the players we'll give them a week off to get their academics in order and let their bodies heal up. So we're expecting a tough physical game, and we're really looking forward to it. And we're going to enter that stadium with a big smile on our face.
Okay, quickly before the break, how much weight do you put on the streak that Utah's got going? And how can you imagine how good it would feel to break it? And then the fact that all these games are close. 17 of the last 20 games decided by 7 points or fewer when these two teams get together.
Well, I mean, this is a year that a lot of streaks have been broken if you look at in college football with rivalry games. So why not continue the momentum from that, you know? So we're not the only ones that are trying to break a streak. And to be honest with you, this streak it's a little bit, for me, it's like harsh, because fans they approach me like I'm part of the streak. I was on the other side, you know, when we started this, and so I'm frustrated. But the past about the losing, you know, but the past really has nothing to do with what we're trying to do right now. We're focused on this week, and the past really has no reflection on how this game is going to take place. I mean, everyone's saying, well, it's a close game. It's been historically close games, because there's a lot of energy going into this game from the fans and the players and the coaches, and so it means a lot to people, and we care. And so we're expecting a great game, and we're looking forward to being on the better side of it, you know. And I'm really focused on this week. And we knew about this game all year long, and everyone asks about it, and now it's here, and it's almost like there's not enough people talking about it now. It's like, you know, let's talk about it more, because I think our guys are really excited about the game. I am, and you know, let's go. Our guys are really excited to go up there and play this game.
We'll talk about it more after this. As we head to break, we want you to know that you can enjoy a full hot breakfast buffet, dinner Monday through Wednesday, a kitchen and large grassy backyard along the Provo River Trail, all at the Residence Inn Marriott in Provo. After our break, the coach takes your questions in studio and from social media. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork sells Ford vehicles including the F-150, the pickup designed for work and play. Tim Daly Ford maintains a large inventory, providing more choices for selecting an F-150 with the power and engineering to carry and tow heavy loads. The F-150's design offers comfort, safety, and a range of options to choose from. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Living at Trio is not about retirement. It's about fun.
It was so different from everything we'd been taught to expect about senior living.
I was delighted when we came and they had these raised gardens.
Just love it here. I wish more people knew about Trio.
Learn more at btrio.com.
You like basketball?
Hey, boy, come and get it. Come and get it.
Blue runs deep on BYU TV. Watch BYU take on Rice live tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain on BYU TV. Watch all of your favorite BYU teams on BYU TV, your home for Cougar sports.
Checking out our Cougars in the NFL. Taysom Hill, another complete day. Some rushing, some passing, some special teams tackling. Saints just crushed the Eagles. Ziggy Ansah's back in it. Sack, couple tackles, and got after the QB. The game against the Panthers, and Daniel Sorensen part of the highest scoring game in Monday Night Football history last night as the Rams won a wild one at the Coliseum. All right, welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. Q&A time now. Use the hashtag Sitake Show on Twitter and comment on the BYU TV Sports Facebook and Instagram pages if you'd like to get into our mix. And let's get right into it with Devin Crossley here in studio. We need Devin. Oh, that little Fred instead? We'll go with Fred instead. I got no problem with that. How you doing?
Good.
Good. You're on with Kalani. Have at it.
How many days do you guys practice?
For the games?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, yeah. And then we don't practice on Sunday. We go to church instead. But, yeah, our guys are prepared from Monday through Friday, and they have a lot of fun doing it. What was your name again?
Fred.
Fred. Great
from
question.
Oregon. From Oregon. He's Fred from Oregon.
Fred from Oregon. Which part?
Dallas.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome.
Thanks.
You used to be Kalani from Oregon for a little while.
I did, yeah. Kalani from Corvallis.
All right, we'll get back to our studio mic in a second. From social media, Brocelli asks on Instagram, well, first of all, big fan of the show, the person says. That's great. Coach, what has been the best part of the coach's show for you? And there are probably so many good parts to consider.
Oh, which one? Yeah. Well, Greg Wrubell, of course, and Spencer Linton. I don't want to leave him out of it. But I honestly just love being around the fans and taking questions. During the break, I don't know if people probably don't know that from TV, but we take a lot of questions, and I answer them as honestly as I can. But it's like just interacting with the fans and being around the fans. It's a big highlight of my week.
It's one of the hidden gems of the show is that if you do come to the show, our commercial breaks have been full of a lot of Q&A. Now this is one part of Q&A, but you get the informal Q&A during the breaks.
Yeah, and I mean I try to answer as much as I can. When they ask for advice, remember that the advice if you should go to a wedding or the football game, and I said both. So that's yeah. Other than that, if it's football, I'm good with it. If it's like advice.
Life advice, relationship advice.
Yeah, unless it's food, then I'm really good at that too. So
post-game Q&A is also pretty good here. All right, Devin Crossley is there. You are. You are still here. Hello, Devin.
Also from Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Dallas, same place.
Yeah.
Just wondering how you guys are going to make magic happen this week.
Make magic happen? Whose quote was that? That was Austin Collie. Well, we have Dylan Collie, so that's his brother. So that might help out, get the Collie magic. But I mean, just play football and have fun and enjoy the experience. I think, you know, our guys, we've lost some games this year and ones that we wish we can have back. But our guys, they love the opportunity to just be out there and represent their families on the field and interact with the fans, whether we're on the road or at home. And I just love seeing our boys just love the fans. Senior night was such a cool experience for our players because you just see the seniors coming through out of the tunnel, and it was such a cool experience for me to see them, how much appreciation they have for the fans, and I love it. Our guys want to win so much, especially this week for our fans, number one.
Okay, Devin, appreciate the question. We stay right here in Studio C with Clark Beal at the mic. Hello, Clark.
How are you? Good to see you, Coach Sitake. From Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
My two-part question. Number one, there's been a lot of talk with this game not mattering as much to Utah since they're playing already for the Pac-12 championship next week. How do you respond to that? Is that a motivator for the team? And also, do you ever see BYU scheduling a game with Georgia Bulldogs?
Oh, yeah. First of all, ask Tom about Georgia. I would love to play him. But I mean, I really don't have an answer about whether Utah's taking it serious or not. I know I am, and I know we want to win. So we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know what their mindset is. This is the first time that they've won the Pac-12 South. The first time they're playing the championship game, but they can worry about that some other time. Right now, we're the ones standing in between them and that game. So on Saturday, we'll show up and we'll play and we'll see what happens, and then they'll have that game, and I wish them the best. I hope they can win the Pac-12, and that'll be really cool, but I want to win on Saturday.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you, Clark. We go right next up with Caden Duffield. Caden is at the mic. Hello, Caden.
Tyler Algier was in my mom's class in high school. How long will Tyler Algier, how much playing time will he get next season?
A lot, yeah. Did your mom coach him in football? Because he's really good. No, I mean, I think he got tackled on the 1 yard line this last game, and maybe we'll just tell him to just get the 1 extra yard. But Tyler's a great player. We have, like we talked about earlier, we've had to call on him to play a lot more since running backs have gone down and been injured, and so he wouldn't be on our team if we didn't think that he could be a great contributor to our offense. And things that he does for us it's really helpful for Coach Grimes. You saw how physical he can run, especially downhill. He's going to be a really good player for us for years to come.
Okay, Caden, thanks for the question. Good job. And our final question of the segment for Coach Sitake comes from Andrew Fellers. Hello, Andrew.
Hi. What's your favorite memory against Utah besides BYU's win on Saturday?
I like that question. That was good. This is my last game in college football was with Lavell's last game and winning that one up at Rice-Eccles Stadium. That was a cool experience for me to go out with my head coach, and it was a kind of a miracle type of game, you know, to come back, and it was a lot of fun. So I'll always remember that one. But I love them all. It's so much fun competition. Even when I was coaching at Utah and playing that game, such a cool experience on both sides, and great passionate fans on both sides. It's going to be a lot of fun, you know, regardless of the outcome. It's just, this is a game that has to keep going.
The game you're talking about in 2000, your last game, Lavell's last game, took place on a November 24th up in Salt Lake City. And this weekend's game will take place on a November 24th up in Salt Lake City. So
hey, let's go, yeah.
Do it again. All right.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
There we go. Thanks for the questions, folks. Appreciate it. The men's basketball team continuing a 6-game homestand with Rice Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, and a big one then with Houston on Saturday at 6 Eastern. That'll be before the football game. And you'll see and hear both games on BYU TV and BYU Radio. All right, coming up next, we meet tonight's player guest, safety Austin Lee. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
You're watching Super Tuesday on BYU TV, presented by Siegfried & Jensen.
No matter what stage you're at in life, You're always looking to take the next step forward. At Deseret First Credit Union, we want to take each and every next step with you. With low auto loan rates, you can be ready to see what's around every new corner. And amazing rates on home mortgages, so you can move up to something you've always dreamed of. Deseret First Credit Union, with you every financial step of the way. Membership and eligibility required. Equal housing lender.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, sweetie.
Check this out. Chicken wings. I love you.
Have a car wreck? Martin's Collision Repair.
The right repair, the right paint, the right choice. Martin's Collision Repair.
Miss Hetty Feather.
Come on, Hetty. Keep it up, Feather.
Hetty Feather.
That Hetty girl.
Hetty.
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 Feather.
Hetty.
Hetty. Hetty.
Hetty.
I ain't got no chill.
The BYU TV Sports Postgame. BYU at Utah. Saturday after the game on BYU TV.
Third and 10 Rainbow Warriors on a three-step. Quick fire, and it is intercepted. Austin Lee, far side, 40, 35 and 30, 25 and 20. At the sideline inside the 20, he's down. And the Cougars are back in business.
Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake on BYU TV and BYU Radio, presented by Intermountain Healthcare. Our player guest tonight has, like Kalani, seen the BYU-Utah rivalry from both sides. As a player for the Utes and the Cougs, please welcome to Studio C, safety, Austin Lee. Austin, good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Who'd you bring with us, by the way, today?
I think my family made it out right here. My mom, Jan, my dad, Doug, my sister, Adria, and my wife, Courtney. So right there.
You have two kids. Do we leave the kids at home tonight?
I think so, yeah. The mother-in-law got them. She got to babysit them, so yeah.
It's good to have you all here. Welcome in.
Thank you.
Well, you know, it gets talked about because it's just natural that because of your background, you'd be a popular interview subject this week. Your dad was a student athlete at the U. Your grandpa was a student athlete at the U and maybe even coached it later. There's Pops, right?
Yeah.
Played baseball. I think it's either his dad or Scott Baio. We couldn't figure that out. And then this is Grandpa. And they were both playing for the U, and that's where you began your career as well. Was it like just a given that you would end up there?
Not necessarily. I actually grew up like pretty back and forth. Like my mom's dad actually loves BYU, and my dad played at Utah, so I grew up just loving them both. And so I had my times, but once the recruiting process started, I was a little bit more open. But Utah felt more like family when he was over there. Came back and he was gone. So
you started with him, right?
Yeah, or I came back from my mission, and he ended up having to go to Oregon. So.
I had to go, away for a year before I got this job.
So, what ultimately led you to BYU?
I guess when I was at Utah, it just wasn't the right fit that I was used to. I had a lot of family in the Spanish Fork area, Utah County area, and then it ultimately came down to what was best for me as an individual, what was best for my family. Academics, BYU just is such a different fit and such a different field that I felt like I was a part of, and finding out that
you get him again,
Coach Sitake was there. It was just perfect fill and perfect fit, and everything fell into place.
And what makes Austin a good fit for you, the staff, and this team, Kalani?
Well, first of all, he's a great leader, and I saw that when he was in high school, and I saw the way he led his team at Alta. You know, Rhett Sandlin was a teammate of his, and I just was really, I was drawn to his leadership and the way he competed in the game. I mean, and he wasn't just about himself. He was trying to promote. When I first met him, you remember this, I first met him, I was trying to recruit him. I was at Utah, and he kept bringing all his friends. And he's like, you got to meet this guy, you got to meet this guy. And he's like bringing all his teammates to meet me. It's like, what an unselfish person to take that time to share the moment that he's getting recruited with other teammates of his. And I just really, that's stuck with me, you know, and I really wanted him when I was a D coordinator at Utah. And I thought we couldn't pass on him. He has great instincts and great passion for the game. And I'm just glad he's here. When he went to Utah, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to play against him. Just a lot of the guys that I really admire up there, you know. And but when there's an opportunity for him to come down here and be with us, there's no way I was gonna turn that down. And he's made a huge difference on our team with his leadership and his just the style that he brings to the game. And I've just been really happy having him in the defensive backfield. But more importantly, just the person that he is and his family is just a huge honor for me to be his coach, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing him make more plays. He's got another year, you know, so I'm really excited that he's here. If you watch him, the trunk or treat, right? His family, him and his wife, they had the best outfits. I mean, it was the Greatest Showman, and I mean, I thought my DJ Khaled was pretty good, but that one just killed it, you know. And they dressed up the trunk, and it was just such a cool thing. But that's how Austin is, and when it's something that he knows he can really be helpful and help others and serve others, he's all about that. And man, I love having him on our team. He's a great teammate, but he's such a great kid for me to coach, and his family should be really proud of the individual that he is.
Speaking of family, it's more about your wife, Courtney. How did you guys meet? And tell us the names of your two kids.
Oh, we actually kind of met through Instagram. We actually, if you can see those pictures, we have a baby girl, Romy, and she's almost 8 months. And then Ledger's our boy, and he's 2.5. And they're a lot of fun. And she makes it easy for me to be able to come to football, go to class, and be successful in those aspects of my life. And when I come home, it's just easy. She makes it fun. So we met through Instagram, and it's just fun having a family with her. So.
Well, it's awesome. It's good to have you here again. You've played in 2 rivalry games, one for them, one for us. Your thoughts on this particular game when it pops up on the schedule?
I'm excited. I just like to compete, and I like to win. And so it means a lot, obviously, from playing over at Utah, and been around those teammates, and I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to play against them and compete. I love football. I love this game, and I've been waiting for this one specifically because that's where I came from, and so I'm excited to show what I can show.
What do you think they think about this game?
You know, I'm not exactly sure what they think about this game. They've had their success, but I know that they see us as a rival, and they see us standing in their way of having another win. But I'm not exactly sure what the talk is around over there right now. But I'm just focused on what we're doing over here as a team, and trying to succeed and do the best that we can to get the win.
You've had a great year. Starter in 10 of 11 games this year as your role has increased. Kalani says you've got another year to go, of course. When you look back on the season and how it's transpired for you, what have been maybe some highlights for you? And what do you maybe look forward to still the rest of this season and as a senior here at BYU?
I just hope that our defense can continue to be relentless to the ball. I think we got a really good team. We have really good individuals, but we all gather together and running the ball. Sometimes the mistakes that happen, they're covered up by guys just pursuing. And Coach Kalani, Coach Tuiaki, they all teach great habits of trying to get the ball out and running to the ball. And just that leadership style has carried around to everyone on the team, and it's made it fun for the team to be able to have those type of highlights.
You've done a great job this year, and we look forward to your performance this week and in the bowl game, which you know there's going to be, which is pretty cool too. Your thoughts on being bowl eligible?
I'm excited, especially from last season, not being able to make a bowl. It's one of our goals, and that's what we were able to achieve. And so it's exciting, but we still have a lot more work to do and football to be played. So.
Okay, Austin's going to be sticking around with us. Fans, if you're looking for an even more convenient way to shop at Smith's, try Smith's Click List. You order online, then you pick up curbside at the store. Visit smithsfoodanddrug.com for details. After the break, we bring in defensive coordinator Elisa Tuiaki. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. Yanks him down, sack for Ford. Whoa, somersaulted. Kyrus Tonga wraps up and throws down Cole McDonald. Ball comes loose, picked up, it's a scoop, and a score! Diana Wallaku! Oh, he's gonna go! Touchdown, Cougars!
Excited for the reboot. The teaser looks really good. So
Sammy, are these yours?
Mom, what are you doing here?
Can a mom just drop in on her special snowflake?
No, really, what are you doing here?
I'm moving in with your sister to make sure you two eat healthy.
We know how to feed ourselves.
Just like you know how to decorate. Don't worry, I took care of that too. The girls are gonna love it.
BYU Meal Plans. Home cooking without mom.
We're using the books for a special sketch that you guys might be seeing. It's a fun character that might be coming back. I don't want to say too much, but just know it's going to be Bala.
BYU Football with Kalani Sitake is brought to you by Intermountain Healthcare, healing for life.
All right, so welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. It's our final show of the 2018 BYU football season. Reminder to use hashtag Sitake Show on Twitter and comment on the BYU TV Sports Facebook and Instagram pages. Instagram, good for Q&A questions and also good for bringing people together to get married. You can see your question asked during our Q&A sessions for tonight's special guests, among them Austin Lee, and our next guest we're going to introduce to you now. Pleased to welcome in BYU's defensive coordinator and defensive line coach, now in his third season on the staff here at BYU, Elisa Tuiaki. See you again.
The boss hasn't seen you in a while. These chairs sturdy enough?
Yeah. It gets asked a lot, and there's been yes every time, so you're
surprisingly.
Good. All right. Settle in. There you go. Good to have you here.
Thanks. Good to be here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. He was in the coordinator's corner just yesterday, and here we are again. Yeah. We'll try and figure something different to talk about tonight. You have been a lot of places, from the islands to L.A., to the Bay, to Provo, to southern Utah, to northern Utah. You've been around. Tell us a little about how this coaching career got you to BYU.
Just following Kalani. It's, you know, every parent's dream when you're coming from the islands is bring your kids over here and have them be successful and go to school and learn and have a successful career. And it's just really been fortunate to be raised by great parents and have an opportunity to come over here and you know, continue to do my thing, which was with my career. But we've lived a bunch of different places. I mean, I think we averaged about 3 years every single place that we lived, and it's just so I know a lot of different people in just other parts of the world, and it's been fun to have those relationships.
Kalani's a little older than you, right?
2.5, 3.
Okay. But you guys go way back, though, right?
We do, since we were babies, basically, you know. So, I mean, he's he just had a baby boy. Well, his wife Viola had a baby boy. And,
is that like a 7, 8? What is it for you?
Number 7.
Number 7, yeah.
And he named him after his 3 best friends, and one of them is my little brother TJ. So, yeah, that's and then all 3 friends call his son by their own name. But yeah, I've known E since we were little. We went to BYU games when we were little kids together, and dreamed of one day, playing there. And so every day when we walk off the field, I can't believe, my childhood friends there with me, sharing this experience. It's a lot of fun for both our families, and it's just I got to coach him at Southern Utah, and boss him around a little bit when I was his position coach, and he's such a great man to be around, and defensively he's just really humble, so he never wants to take credit for things. So I'm going to brag about him a lot. But when he was a running backs coach, all he did was send running backs to the NFL. When he was at Utah State, when he was a tight ends coach, he sent tight ends to the NFL. When he was at Utah, and when he was D-line coach, he sent D-linemen to the NFL. And now that he's our defensive coordinator, he's doing the same thing. He's always about the players, and he knows how to motivate them, but never about himself. And so I always try to take as much opportunity as I can to brag about him, because he'll never do it himself. And it's just an honor to be his friend. But that's my boy. It's my brother. And we've been through this profession quite a bit, and I was just lucky to coach him, and just like I am lucky to coach Austin. So the only difference is I'm just getting really old and aging really fast, and these guys are still young and still playing and having a lot of fun.
Now, you were a fullback from back in the day, and there was a time when you were a fullback blocking for his brother, weren't you? At one point?
Yeah, it wasn't any fun, because he was 6'3", 250. I was, 5'9", 185, 190.
And you were the guy blocking.
I was blocking for him. Well, he was a really good player in high school. He's highly recruited, and I was fortunate to just be part of his career blocking for him.
It's too humble.
Let's back up to the 7 kids for a second here. I think you told me one time you think you're tapping out right now. You done at 7?
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not his decision. It's his wife, Viola's decision, right? That's hers.
The BYU defense this year has been a real strong suit for this year's Cougars side. You've had only 2 games where things really kind of got away from you a little bit. Other than that, Kalani, you know this as well as anybody. This defense is keeping the games where they need to be for the most part, right?
Oh yeah, and the leadership that Coach Sitake has done and I also look at Coach Hadley and Coach Guilford and Coach Lamb. They've done a great job at getting the defense ready, and they're always, and you always have to shuffle people around with the injuries that are happening, but the leadership from E has been instrumental in our defense and the success that we're having, especially you're starting to see the last month and a half of football that we've been playing on defense, and it's a huge compliment to this guy and what he works, and trusting people like Austin on the field to make a lot of adjustments and listening to the advice that he gets from him off the field. So it's been really nice.
All 3 of you have either played or coached this game in red. And here you're all sitting in blue here, ready for it again. You get asked about it too, how it's been like to see it from both sides.
Yeah, it's been fun for me. Just now that it's been a bunch of different schools that I've been to. I feel like it's the same job, different uniform. After a while, it's kind of just get up and coach the game. But being part of kids' lives has really been fun. Being part of a program where you're close friend and mentor, as the head coach, that's been really fun. But yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about it. It's been a lot of years that I'm working. I was actually at Utah State when we offered Austin. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And offered Austin, and Kalani was at Utah. I remember I was on the road recruiting, and he and his dad called, which I thought was really classy. They called and said, just thankful for the opportunity, going to commit to Utah. Nobody knows yet, but wanted to let you know. And I was like, dude, this kid's really cool, and I think he's going to be successful, and I hope he's successful. And obviously now, it's just crazy what happens. Just people you run into, and then all of a sudden you're back together again, and it's really cool to think about that, because I think if he would have done it differently, or if the circumstances were different, I think I would have probably been like, oh, that kid's coming to us. Oh, heck no, But I was super excited, just like Kalani was, to get him to be a part of his family again and to get him here. And so being part of these kids' lives is really, really cool.
Cool story. Don't go away. We'll have you guys for Q&A next. Check out BYU Sports Nation right now with Kiki Solano. It's the latest in Cougar sports with a social media twist. Watch it right now on BYU Sports Nation's Facebook, IGTV, Twitter, or YouTube accounts. After the break, your questions for Austin Lee and Elisa Tuiaki as BYU Football with Kalani Sitake continues.
Well, I did it again. Perfect dinner, weird toy for Kate. Even Nana's happy, and Nana hates everything. Oh, and I earned triple rewards while doing it? Time to treat myself.
Visa Triple Rewards from Mountain America on all purchases through December 31st.
Don't worry, Dad. Mama's got rewards.
Be a holiday hero with Visa Triple Rewards from Mountain America.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver results this year? Expanding your product line or building new locations? How about your online presence? Does it need a boost? Maybe you just want to put a little more distance between you and the competition. Tap into the powerful engine of BYU Athletics and let us put together a plan unique to your business. We can provide you with the tools designed to enhance your brand on a local, regional, or national level. We invite your team to join ours. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
There are three definitions of the word trick. Number one, a secret strategy or plot. Number two, a prank played on somebody you know or love. And number three, an optical illusion or an act of magic. My name's Eric LeClaire, expert in all three, and I'm teaming up with you on Tricked.
Micah Simon, Jr., wide receiver. Favorite movie? Lion King. Favorite non-BYU sports team? Mavericks or Cowboys. Bucket list, place to go, Hawaii. Favorite music group or artist? Drake. Favorite food? Barbecue. Would I rather sing or dance? I would dance. Beach or mountains? Beach. Favorite TV show? The Office. Favorite non-football hobby? Play basketball. Favorite athlete? LeBron. Biggest fear? Driving and my brakes stop working. Favorite superhero? Thor. Michael LeBron. Favorite coach? Kalani Sitake.
But it is always good to go with the position coach. Never a bad call. That is a season wrap on our play clock, by the way. Watch all 25 players in the play clock on demand on the BYU TV Sports YouTube account. Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake on BYU TV and BYU Radio, presented by Intermountain Healthcare. Time to let Cougar Nation have a couple more minutes with Elisa Tuiaki and Austin Lee. We go right here to the audience, and Audrey Crossley is at the mic. Hello, Audrey.
Hi. So,
Hi.
How many hours do you practice?
So like Coach said, we started around like 1 o'clock, and then practice will be around 4 o'clock to like 5:30, 6. And what meets compliance? I don't know.
Well, NCAA compliance only allows us 20 hours a week of practice, so we do not exceed that ever.
Yeah. So whenever compliance comes in, that's when we stop.
Anything after that is all voluntary.
We don't even do that. We just stick with the rules. That's where it is. We draw the line.
Thanks, Audrey, for giving us that
Audrey's trying to get us in trouble.
Yeah. Social media, at Tanner Lewis on Facebook for Coach Tuiaki. If you had to take down Kalani, how would you do it?
Easy. Just give me some food.
Tip him over.
I don't think that's a smart question to answer right there. Just stay out of the way. That's what I would do.
If you had to, if your life depended on it, you could take him down, couldn't you?
I would just ask him nicely. I think that he would, you know, be like, Kalani, this is very important for me. Will you just let me take you down? He'd be like, oh, okay.
He's good at jiu-jitsu, though. He can do whatever he wants. He's being humble again, you know, but he could put you in anything. He's a jiu-jitsu master. And he's a former MMA fighter.
He's that, exactly right, with a winning record. Austin Lee, thank you. Elisa, thank you. Have good luck this weekend against the Utes. All right, appreciate it. Next week we are off, but in 2 weeks from tonight, we debut BYU basketball with Dave Rose. See it Tuesdays at 8 in this very time slot. We are back after this for closing thoughts and a quick look back on our season of shows. This is BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
This is where we dominate. Our playground, place of business. This is our promised land, where we seek to find ourselves. And we're here to make sure the spaces our best prove themselves on appear how they should. Intermountain Healthcare, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
Blue runs deep on BYU TV. Watch BYU take on Rice live tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain on BYU TV. Watch all of your favorite BYU teams on BYU TV, your home for Cougar sports.
I ain't got no chill. I ain't got no chill.
The BYU TV Sports Countdown to Kickoff. BYU at Utah, 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain, Saturday on BYU TV.
Next time on a Story Trek reunion episode. Years ago, I met a couple frustrated with America.
I looked at her, I said, we're going to Australia. Pack your stuff.
I catch up with them in their new home.
Big T! What are you doing?
Plus, a former TV star and old friend who beat the odds to inspire thousands.
My mom, 3-time recovering drug addict, single mom, moving us around, house to house, home to home, job to job.
Join me tonight on The Story Trek.
Welcome back to BYU Football with Kalani Sitake, presented in part by Smith's. Low prices, market fresh at Smith's. As this is the season finale of our show, I want to take a moment to look back at the season that was. Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to another season of BYU Football with Kalani Sitake.
My muscle mass caused the shirt to rise up on Fessy and exposes his stomach. And so we'll be doing abs now just to make sure that doesn't happen again if it does happen.
It's a Kalani Sitake signed rat, everybody. So
one of 4. That's all.
These will be very valuable.
I don't know if I'll ever sign another rat again.
I don't know if you've ever seen Avatar or like Dragon Ball, but that's what it feels
the connection,
like. Right as you feel the energy hit you, you're like, oh! And then heaven just.
Well, this Friday at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, it's a BYU and Utah State. Things are about to get wheel, as in the wagon wheel. You can still get tickets for this game. Seats are available.
I think if you compare the things that matter the most,
let's do that right now.
Thickness, shape, and how it conforms to your face, I think you got to give JD the upper hand.
BYU AD Tom Holmoe is in our audience tonight, too. Tom, thanks for being with us. Right on.
Would you rather change a baby's diaper or take on a block from a blitzing linebacker?
Is my wife in here still?
Coach Kalani actually did something a few weeks ago, asking everybody to find your why. His why was my why as well. Lavelle Edwards was able to come into my house and persuade my mom.
It's been a great experience for our family, and I think it's been overwhelming because it's been such a positive experience.
Put his arm around me and was like, hey bro, we got you a scholarship. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
When Lavelle left my house, my mom flat out told me, and she said, I think I found the place that you need to be.
Would you like to stay a while?
I'd love to. Love to help him and these guys stay for a while.
All right, Kalani, thank you for the season. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Cougar Nation, love you. From our team, we love you, appreciate all of you, and look forward to making you guys happy. Go Cougs.
Okay, go get them Saturday. All right, thanks to our crew here at BYU TV. Michael Miner, Jerem Jordan, the BYU Athletics, and of course the coach, Kalani Sitake. My name is Greg Wrubell. Thanks for joining us this season on BYU Football with Kalani Sitake. Go Cougs!
I'm Blaine Fowler from After Further Review, and you're watching BYU TV. See the good.
You're watching BYU TV on KBYU DT Provo, Salt Lake City.
I'll take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees.